Hello, I'm David Lammers. I'm a junior at the University of Florida, majoring in geomatics. I would like to take a few minutes to share with you one of Florida's several diverse communities and the one I like to call home, the high pine. It can be broken down into two categories, grasslands and pine scrub. I believe this area used to be predominantly a grassland. Let's break down the meaning of high pine. High refers to the elevations in which these ecosystems can be found. They are along the high sand ridge in the center of the state. There were once ancient sand dunes when the ocean was much higher. The soils in this area are sandy, well-drained, and poor in nutrients. Not many plants can tolerate these conditions. The trees found in this area are the longleaf pine, sand pine, sand-alive oak, turkey oak, Yupon holly, and winged sumac. The longleaf pines are incredibly hardy to fire and can sometimes be found living as old as 500 years and grow up to heights of 40 meters. They can stay in the grass stage for many years, which allows them to root deeply, grow rapidly, and may not develop branches until they are tall enough to generally avoid fire. The longleaf pine has thick, flaky bark that helps protect it from fire. The branches end in twigs that are thick, like your thumb. The needles come in pom-pom-like bunches with fascicles of 3 needles. The sand pine is found along the Panhandle coast and inland sand ridges. This tree is a favorite of the Florida tree farming industry, which means it is often found outside actual high pine areas. Its needles are produced in fascicles of 2. Its cone has a dark band at the tip. The needles and cones are much smaller than that of the longleaf pine. The location is important when trying to identify this tree, as it is often mistaken for the spruce pine, but will only be found in sandy soiled biomes. The spruce pine is found in more moist forests, such as lowlands and floodplains. The sand oak gets its name due to growing in sandy regions throughout North Florida to at least as far south as Collier and Palm counties. It has the distinction of being the only tree-sized oak in Florida whose leaves distinctly roll inward, or revolute. The leaves are simple and alternate. They are dark green on top, have a leathery appearance, with deeply impressed veins. It can often be confused with the live oak, and the two species are thought to cross-pollinate. The live oak's leaves are not revolute like the sand live oak. Turkey oaks are generally found throughout northern Florida to as far south as Collier County. They grow up to 15 meters high and can be identified based on their sharply lobed leaves, which usually have sharp, bristled tips and tapered leaf base. They resemble the foot of a turkey. The bark is dark gray to black, furrowed, and blocky. Turkey oaks produce long clusters of unisex flowers and acorns. The Yupon holly is an evergreen shrub or small bushy tree that can grow up to 10 meters high. It produces flowers in the spring, followed by bright red berries. It is unique in the holly family in that its leaves have crenate margins throughout their lengths. They are also simple and alternate. The bark is smooth and grayish. The winged sumac grows up to 8 meters. It has pinnately compound leaves with 9 to 23 leaflets. The bark is smooth when young and roughens with lenticels as it gets older. It is best recognized by its winged rachis, from which the plant gets its common name, that ends in a cluster of smooth, dark red fruits during the late summer and early fall. The continuation of life in high pine grasslands is dependent on a factor that can appear from the surface to be its own death: fire. Fire is vital to clear the undergrowth and stimulate the pine and grass seeds to germinate. The deep roots of pine trees allow them to escape the detrimental fire, and the grasses help the fire to spread across the forest floor. In Florida's high pine grasslands, natural lightning storms create ground fires that spread throughout the forest. Today, human-produced and controlled fires are the key strategy to maintaining these forests close to their natural state. With forests being continuously in various stages of growth and decay. While pine forests can be a great source for selective logging due to the fast growth of pine, only fire can stimulate the forest to properly regrow. Lack of fires not only slows the revitalization of the forest, but it allows deciduous trees to begin to blend into the pines, altering the ecosystem's flora and fauna. This particular high pine area is a residential area and is being taken over by scrub species due to the lack of fire. As the sand pines die out, the smaller scrub species are filling in, species such as the myrtle oak. The myrtle oak is a densely foliated shrub or small tree with simple alternate leaves that can be elliptical or oblong. Its normal habitat are coastal regions in the Panhandle toward the center of the peninsula and down as far as Dade County. It and other scrub oaks are filling in the high pine areas. What most people may want to call high pine grasslands contain a larger than natural mixture of deciduous trees and brush-filled undergrowth. Second growth forests exist, once altered by man, are now being restored, though perhaps not to their original condition. As stated previously, the ground cover is primarily grass. In North Florida, wiregrass is a keystone indicator species that can help us evaluate the overall health of the ecosystem. Wiregrass grows in clumps of hundreds, about 15 centimeters wide. The leaves are strongly enrolled, giving it the resemblance of wire. The seeds grow on stalks about 1 meter tall and only appear after a fire. Other low and mid-growing plants found in these forests include running oaks, saw palmetto, and various ferns and hollies. If not suppressed appropriately by fire, the thicker or taller plants can overgrow and create too much shade for grasses to thrive. Running oaks are small scrub oaks that spread by underground runners. The leaves are elongate and resemble that of the willow oak. The bark is smooth with small lenticels. They are normally found in pine flatwoods. The saw palm is a short scrub-like palm. Its trunk lies along the ground or is buried. The fronds are fan-shaped with small curved spines running along its petioles. It is common in high pine scrub communities. This is an area where I cleared a large amount of scrub oaks. Since then, the natural grasses have started filling back in. Without natural occurring fires, however, they will be overtaken again. In order to restore this high pine area, human intervention will be needed. Controlled burns would be difficult due to the proximity of residential homes. In summary, high pine grasslands are a rich and diverse ecosystem. They hold monetary value for the logging industry, host a wide variety of plant and animal species, and protect our state's waterways by controlling the rate of water runoff. I hope you have found this video informative and have a richer appreciation for this wonderful Florida resource.